I'm always looking for ways to be more efficient with making YouTube videos with all the mistakes that I make. So it's good to have a setup that you don't need to spend time breaking down, resetting up, filming something, breaking it down. Just recently adjusted it a little bit more to make it even better. In my case, I can't dedicate a camera, but a lot of the time I can leave one of the M50s on here and basically it's ready to go when I want to do some type of recording. I have my computer on the side here and then I have the camera right there. I just have to rotate my chair to start filming. I have this big, large shelving unit, whatever you want to call it, and I have clamp lights with LED bulbs. They're daylight color temperature. It's better than nothing type of situation. So the bargain basement lighting, I put this big diffusion panel that comes from one of those 5-in-1 reflectors, the interior. So that really helps to calm down that really intense light. Not amazingly well, but good enough, again, which is kind of the theme of this. And then I have all these foam panels that don't work amazingly well, but they do help out a little bit with the reverb situation in the audio. I take this arm here and I move it to the side so that the microphone's very close to my face. That's a very key tip when you're doing any type of video recording. You want the microphone close. I have a boom arm that comes off of that big metal thing. The top of the tubes have these plastic caps. Pop that off. I disassembled one of my light stands and was able to fit it right in there. And then attached to the top of the light stand is one of these boom arms. And the audio comes off of that with a shielded cable that's pretty long. Right from the camera to one of these Boya microphones, and then it dangles right out of frame. Sometimes I don't have it set up properly, but I'm able to push that to the side when I'm done filming, and it's pretty quick and easy to deal with the audio. What I was doing before is that I had this little tripod that had the camera set up. It was very short, which is not ideal for the setup. With that little tripod, it was just barely fitting, and I would trip over it sometimes, which was one of the main reasons I picked up this magic arm. It's an 11-inch magic arm from Newer. That saved me so much space on the floor. It comes out, the camera sits on there, and it works very nicely. I have some twine that I'm going to attach to the magic arm right in the front where the camera is, just in case. Just a little added precaution of those two strings. So I went with this Newer one. I was looking at reviews of all of the different ones on Amazon. This specific one had a different design than a lot of them, which appeared to be higher quality. I don't know because I didn't buy the other ones, but this one came with a clamp and it's very solid. Actually, all of it is metal of some form. How it works is that the center knob, you have to tighten that. It has some teeth on there on both sides, so that's extremely solid right in the center. But the two ends are friction based. The stronger you tighten that center area, the more friction you'll get on each end of the arm. It's good and bad. Depending on your setup, it might work very well. In this case, the camera is relatively heavy, so what I do with the back portion of the arm is I have it rotated where instead of doing the vertical orientation, I use the metal portion. So if the camera were to flex downward, it's going to be hitting the other metal of the arm and it's not going to basically fall if the friction comes loose for whatever reason. One of the hassles with having a setup, and specifically the M50, is that it uses a DC coupler that goes to an AC adapter. I don't have to mess with batteries, so that's a huge benefit. But with that DC coupler, AC adapter thing, the memory card is in there. What I do is I leave the memory card in there, and I have a USB cable coming from the camera right to the computer. And what I can do is pull footage right from the camera to the computer. One very important thing to note with the M50 is that any video file over 4 gigabytes, you cannot use Windows File Explorer to pull that file from the camera. Usually you see the camera show up on Windows and you can just drag and drop files, but it doesn't work for whatever reason. Canon support actually helped me with this. I used their dedicated software, the EOS utility, turn the computer back on, connects instantly, and I can pull the footage and put it where I want. Even with the M50 and the 30-minute record limit, it will reach past 4 gigabytes on those video files. That's a huge benefit because now I don't have to mess with the AC adapter DC coupler thing. I don't have to pull the memory card every single time. It just stays there set up unless I need the M50 for something. Super simple and easy. I did try the Wi-Fi stuff out with the M50. It works and it can be pulled from the camera to the computer, but it's slow. It's super slow. If you're trying to do something like this with the M50, you want to try it with the USB cable and their software. It's ready for action and it works out nicely to make more videos, make higher quality videos. I'm always looking to iterate, improve things incrementally. Little things here and there help out a lot in the long run because you change one thing, that's better. You change another little thing, that's better. So overall, it really helps out. But there are other ideas, other things I'd like to do with this setup to further improve things. One is the camera itself. I would like a camera that doesn't have a recording limit to it. There have been quite a few times where I hit that 30-minute limit. Super irritating. I would like to get some type of flexible LED lighting, high professional level output with the high CRIs and all that. Of course, that would be super expensive. I don't know when I would even consider that. But then I also need to think about audio quality and reflection of audio, having it come back at me and hit the microphone. Now this thing is kind of like a little drum, or a large drum of diffusion, so I'm probably getting a little bit of reflection from that because it's very easily makes some noise when you touch it. I think it would be a matter of trying things out and seeing what would work with lighting. Again, with the audio, another thing, maybe a boom arm and then some type of solid mount that comes downward, plus some type of higher quality microphone. Always improving, always trying to adjust things a little bit here and there to make it better, I think is a good way to go about things instead of doing it all at once, trying to make this perfect magical setup that's gonna be amazing from the start. You can try it like that, but it might not work out because you need to learn your tools and learn how they work. One thing I always do at the end of my recordings is I stop talking, stop moving, trying to not make any noise at all so I can get a ambient noise sound. And then I use that in my audio editing software to basically subtract that noise from the resulting audio. It does help out. It makes it cleaner. Don't have that hiss in the background, which is nice. Anyways, I'm Scott from Photography Bonza. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.